Hello, I'm Marla Smith with HorseLoverMagazine, and today our trainer Dave Evans is going to demonstrate the tools and benefits of lunging your horse. He's going to demonstrate this on our off-the-track thoroughbred, Sonny. I know you'll enjoy the lesson.
Most lunging is generally reserved for horses before they have any experience under saddle, and it's certainly of benefit to them at that stage. But it's also good for a horse that's being ridden to establish that communication with the horse. You're able to reinforce those commands that you're beginning, and you're able to improve that connection that's so important for all aspects of your riding. Examples: when you start the horse in the lunging, you're able to stop him with whoa, which of course transfers to saddle. You're also able to control some of the things that he does. You're going to control the direction that he's going, and you're going to control when he stops. This is one thing that's very important. Also, as I said, you need to be the one deciding which direction to go. Now, lunging can be very technical or it can be very basic. What we're dealing with here is very basic lunging, and dependent upon your goals for the lunging, that will determine your approach to it in terms of how technical it becomes. We're going to just use a flat halter, just some 5/8 nylon rope. Flat webbing is often used. A lunging cavesson is a fitted leather halter with a ring at the nose that the horse is lunged from that position there. A surcingle may be used to set the horse's head with reins while he's being lunged. We're not concerned with that at this point. All we want the horse to do is to listen to us. We want him to connect with us, and we want him to understand that we're the one that's going to control that move. Horse is a herd animal. He looks for leadership. We're going to provide that leadership. It's not abusive in any way. It's simply assertive. As far as the very basics of the lunging, again, there's a piece of 5/8 inch nylon rope. It's a little over 20 feet long. Sonny hasn't been lunged in a while, so we'll again see how he does. You need to be in an area that's safe. It needs to, we have Sonny here in an open pasture, but it is enclosed, so he's not going anywhere if he were to get loose. If I'm going to lunge him to the left, if I want him to go to the left, I'm going to have the lunge line in my left hand, and it's also a good idea to have gloves on when using a lunge line. When you lunge, you need to be moving around some too. It's not a situation where you're simply going to stay in the same spot. You're going to stay in the same general area, but dependent upon what the horse is doing, you're going to have to move some to keep him at the spot you want him as far as the activity is concerned. Now, in order to initiate his movement, if I'm wanting him to go to the left, if you'll notice, I don't have a lot of line out, but I will allow line to feed out as we begin to move. I'm going to move back behind what I would call his drive line. And that's about where the fenders of the stirrup hang. And as you can see, he's stepped off very easily. You can use the tail end of the lunge line. This one has a knot in it, which gives it a little more weight as far as swinging it. Now, I can also initiate that movement with my right arm, mirroring that motion of the lunging whip or of the tail end of the lunge line. But as you can see, he's just moving easily at a walk on the lunge line. Since he's doing what we want him to do, we're not applying any cues. We're simply letting him do what we've asked him to do. We need to let him savor that moment, so to speak, where he's doing what we've asked. Now, if you'll notice, he came in a little bit. I moved back just a little to keep that belly in the lunge line. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let him stand a minute. Make him stay out on the end of the line. Now, we're going to start him back in the other direction. I'm going to switch hands with the lunge line. I'm going to lunge him to my right. I'm going to get the line in my right hand. I'm going to move to his left side, and I'm going to drive him to the right. And see, I've fed out a little bit of line based on his movement. Of course, he's trotting now as opposed to walking. But we're just let him go. Let him relax. And of course, one of the great benefits of lunging is working the edge off or exercising the horse. On days that you're unable to ride, go on. All right, see, he stopped. Now, I'm going to make sure he keeps going. Oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Good boy, good boy. Now notice I didn't go immediately to him. I want him to stand there, again absorbing what we've done. You see his head's down, which of course is indication of relaxation. Good boy, good boy.
Dave, are there any lunging no-nos, things that you absolutely wouldn't do? And can you lunge a horse for too long?
Don't get too close to the rear end if you think you've got one that's going to kick. That's the major thing. Of course, you need to keep an eye on the tail end of your lunge line and make sure that it doesn't get tangled in your feet. And it's also important that you mix up the routine in order to maintain the horse's interest in what's going on. And you don't have to lunge the horse at the same interval of your riding or training routine. You can lunge him before you ride. You can lunge him after you ride. You could lunge him at a point between times that you spend in the saddle on a given day.
So Dave, this sounds like you're talking about maybe lunging 15, 20 minutes as needed, depending upon what you're teaching?
No more than that, Marla. Just enough to loosen the horse up. If he'll do it at a walk, that's great. And he doesn't have to be trotting, and he doesn't have to be loping.
Great lesson, Dave.